I mean, it happened.
Yeah.
The first time was way back when. Oh shit, we're
Right.
up and moving. Let's go. We're
Yeah, we
live,
are.
baby. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, well, welcome to Elite Ageless Mindset. This is us another week. I'm Nick Best, and this is John Andersen. And John was just giving us a brief description of an injury that he had.
Yes.
So,
But we're here every week, basically, because we've been doing this shit a long time. And we're basically here to help you guys in any way we can. This live stream we do every week is free for you guys to come in and check it out and hear what we talk about and hopefully get some motivation, some good insight. But then if you do want to follow us with training and nutrition, we made it exceptionally affordable. I don't think we ever told you how cheap it is. It's $27 a month. We've really, this project is about giving a program to you guys at an efficient rate because we know times are tough out there. So we are here to help. So
definitely.
That being said, we're gonna talk about some discipline today, and I think yes. And here's the thing: let's start off. And I love that, brother. But let's start off. I think the biggest misconception is the misunderstanding between motivation and discipline. You see, motivation is like this slippery fucking slope. You can have it 1 minute and it's gone like a fart in the wind. You might be able to get it back by watching a video or listen to something that inspires you. But learning to do the shit you don't want to do, learn to do shit you need to do, even when you don't want to do it, that's discipline. And when you have discipline, you are really, really stoked with your success. Here comes motivation.
Yeah.
Yep. Rick, why don't you grab that?
Well, yeah, definitely. Motivation's like skipping a rock on a pond. You're going to get some really big skips and really big jumps, and it's going to go really good, and it's going to sink and fall into the water.
And that's just
going to throw the next rock up to do the same thing. Discipline is something that is always there. It's always there. If you stick and you're disciplined and you go about what you're doing, you're always going to do it. It's always going to be there. It's never going to go away. So you get the motivation to start and the discipline to finish and the discipline to follow it through and the discipline to stick to it. And in life, that'll carry you through everything. But it's the initial motivation that gets you moving and then the discipline that carries you through. And there are a massive difference between the two, like a really big difference.
And check this out. Let me just interject right there, brother. Nick and I, anybody who knows us will tell us that we're our foundation. We are disciplined. We're walking discipline. This is what we basically were able to understand it early enough, foster it, and now it's just a part of us. But even for us, sometimes it's a challenge to keep it. Like, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I was traveling last week and I was way out of my normal rhythm, like way out. Hotels, I even stayed in a family member's house, which normally I will never do because I like to have my own space because I needed my rhythm, but it was a reason why I needed to do it. So I did. Anyway, I can't tell you how far out of my normal rhythm I was, which then kind of chipped away at my discipline because my discipline is getting up and having these things that I do. And because I do them every day, they're very easy for me to do. But just that 3-day period, actually it was more than that, but 3 days solid where I was like, holy shit, I'm not going to be able to do much of what I normally do. Nobody else in this house is waking up at 2:59. So anyway, so what I'm getting at is this. Even for somebody like me or Nick, we are disciplined. That's who we are. When you get put in a position where you don't practice it, can easily slip away. So just remember, it's something you have to practice. Once you have it, you got to practice. It's like if you want to keep it, you want to keep your teeth, you got to brush them. You want to keep your discipline, you got to practice it.
Yep.
Go on that one, brother.
And the next one is sticking to your plan. You got to have the discipline to do the plan and then the discipline to stick to the plan. And it's like, I'm coming back. I'm getting ready I'm going to do a powerlifting meet this year. I'm going to do strongman contest this year. Mike Cromer just came down from Washington. His wife did a bodybuilding show here over the weekend, and he came over to train.
I've actually coached both of them. How are they, brother?
Oh, they're great. Lisa looks incredible.
Love those guys.
Yeah, me too. They're just amazing. And Cromer's one of the top guys. He's in the top 5 for guys over 50 in the world. And he came over and trained, and I was like, what you got today? He's like, deadlifts, but I pulled heavy last week. I'm like, okay, so we'll do reps this week. That's fine. And he did really well. I mean, that's one of his Achilles heels for him. And so I got to work with him in the deadlift. I gave him a little bit of homework to do when he, with his hands, so they don't hit his legs when he's at the bottom, and push his knees a little forward to get his butt underneath him a little more and get his back straighter when he pulls the bar off the floor. And then some things to do at his lockout, and then a few other things to just technique wise. And he pulled like 15 with 455, and he's in his 50s. And it was really cool. And I was like super, because that gets me motivated.
Hell yeah.
Gets me motivated. And I've been pulling 500, right. And I've been pulling 500 for reps, working my way up. So, 14, 16, pulled 17 last time. And I'm like, all right, well, so I pulled up, I went up to 18 reps this week, nonstop on the deadlift with 500. I could have did the other two, but this wasn't the plan. My plan is to do that in 2 more weeks. So I got my 18.
Real quick. Talk about the discipline it took for you not to do those 2 reps. Talk about following the plan. Oh my God. Now we're talking about discipline coming from the other side of the fence.
Right. Which was very difficult because I know it's there. I was pulling hard. They were getting difficult, but I still pulled up the 18th knowing I had 2 more in there, but that's not the plan. I want to be able to finish. This was the first thing we trained, and I want to be able to do the whole entire workout with the same intensity, not be wasted pulling those other 2 reps and then have to do the rest of the workout halfway. I'm not ready for that yet. So I put the bar down. I'm like, that's good enough. He's like, you had 20. I go, yeah, that's not the plan. The plan was to pull 18 today. I pulled 18 today. Let's move on. So you got to have the discipline to stick to the plan.
Bro, this is really, really inspiring. Now, as we both know, having discipline all around our lives, because the way we do one thing is the way we do everything, is the key. So for many people, they're thinking, God damn, I just don't have the discipline to stick to the plan right now. What do I do? So let's you and I each share the top 3 things that we do on a daily basis, not including training, to help us not only keep but develop our discipline. I'll go first, because obviously it was my idea. Yeah. so the number one thing that I do, and it's really the first thing, is I drink about 1 liter of water right out of bed. And that's boom, right away. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So that's the number one thing I'm going to do. The number 2 thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go basically out. I'm going to take a look at my book. And I don't really need to look at it, but I still do. And I'm going to execute the number 1 thing that I'm supposed to do that morning. Like lately, I've been focusing on my sitting in silence. For those of you that might call it meditation, I don't use that word meditation because it takes a bad rap. But when I sit in silence, it allows me to kind of center myself. I literally will go through my day mentally. So all I got to do is physically act it out. So that's the second thing that I do. Then the third thing that I do, and I'm literally just talking about straight out of the gate. Third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break some sort of a sweat, and it doesn't need to be much. I might jump on a rebounder for a few minutes. I might go on my wife's gauntlet for a few minutes. I might do some burpees. I don't care. I just want to break a little sweat. I'm talking about just enough. I don't want to drip. I just want a little perspiration. I can feel it done. Clears my mind. Those 3 things. I mean, I get up early. I get up at, I get up at 2:59. These things all happen before 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll keep in mind my meditation is about 30 plus minutes of that. So you can see I'm up and I'm doing my thing, but I'm going to share one more. That's 3, because those were first thing. I do it every day. It helps me. But the other thing that I would suggest you guys to do would be really helpful. I would suggest the first one I gave you and the last one I'm going to give you, which is a set bedtime. So simple, but not always easy. And if it's simple, it's easier. And if you can get up and drink a glass of water every day, right away, and have a set bedtime every day, you will, and stick to this shit. I'm going to say in a week, you're going to feel a difference in your ability to say you're going to do something and carry it out.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's like you have your plan, you're executing your plan. You set up your plan for the day and you go execute it. And I do things very similarly, little different, but very similarly. I mean, I do drink some water shortly after I wake up, kind of like John.
To be honest, brother, the reason I wanted to go first is because I knew we were both going to go at that one, and I wanted to steal it.
It's okay. That's fine. So I'll do that very similarly. And then I also have 1 cup of coffee just because I got to wake up. It's just what I do. But I still wake up in a good mood. I'm still energetic, everything else. I've done it for 40 years. And
part of your rhythm, babe. It's your rhythm.
Part of my rhythm. It's my thing. I like the taste of it. It's just, I do it. I don't drink a pot of coffee. I don't drink bazillion things. Just 1 cup and I get moving.
Unfortunately, that's me. I drink pot.
So, but then I get moving. I kind of like see what my day's like, kind of like he says. I meditate. I do that. But I also, after I'm done with that, I sit and I see what my day's like. I'm kind of one of those guys like, okay, what are we doing today? You know, I'll have plans out in advance on very specific things, and my training's very planned out. But like day-to-day things, they alter. I'm either going to work or I have a day off, or I have things I got to take care of, stuff like that. I see what my itinerary for the day is, where my training is going to be on that day. I just map out my day, just like what he says. And then I go execute my day. So it's, wake up, drink the water, plan the day, plan my food. That's another thing I do when I wake up, that it's discipline. It's these things that you do every single day. And then I just go execute it.
Now, did you hear what neither one of us said? Neither one of us said we jump on our phones.
Mm-mm.
Neither one of us said we go and, eat some sugary item first thing in the morning. Neither one of us said we start stressing out about the shit that we can't control. So you see how the creating these simple rhythms puts us in the frame of mind we want to be in. And realistically, that's what it's all about, because, this whole thing, I mean, we peeled the lid off this whole thing. This whole thing is about, it's mental. Yes, you're going to physically train, but when you get this shit down mentally, the physical training is just like it's almost like the nuts dragging behind, the discipline is the frickin' boner. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, and then the other thing is the part of the discipline is the purge from the 3 Ps is the purge. You have to purge things and have the discipline to purge things that keep you from achieving your goals. And so if getting on the phone the first thing you wake up puts you late, puts you behind, puts you in all these things where you're rushing the whole entire day, then you purge getting on the phone until it's a much better time when you have free time in your day to do that.
And, real quick, I'm so glad you brought that up, brother, because if you go back to the beginning of these live streams, there's a shitload. Yep. We went into our mental formula a lot in the beginning, right? But I think it's a great thing to keep bringing it up, which I think we get so much fun talking about other shit. We don't do it. So the 3 P is just so you guys remember, or if you've never heard it, go back to the beginning. We'll talk about more. But the first P, or P1, is your purge, what Nick was talking about. What are you going to not do today that you did yesterday? Your second P is your purpose or your behavior. How do you want to behave today? How do you intend to behave so that you have a day that's going to help you move towards your life that you're looking for? And then the third P, and you're going to write 2 of those. The reason it's P2 is because you're going to write 2 of them. And then P3 is positive or grateful. Write down 3 things that you're positive, happy, and grateful about. And what you're doing is you're priming your mind to be in the right spot to see the world differently. And when you practice this, you don't see problems, you see opportunities. You don't, maybe let's put it into a gym fashion. You don't see, you're tired. You don't have the time you want for your training. And you don't see the fact that, oh shit, this is going to suck. You see the fact that, well, I've got a little bit of less time. I better be efficient to get this done when I need it to. You see the path to get it done, not the obstacle in your way. And
even just get as much as you can of it done before you run out of time.
Yeah. 100%. But you got in there. If you were seeing the problem, you wouldn't have gone to begin with. But when you see a solution, it's so much easier to do the shit that you don't want to do when you see the solution rather than the problem. And that's what P3, our mental formula, is all about. So good shit bringing that up, brother. God, it's been a while since we've talked about that. But again, all these live streams are free. So you guys can go back to the beginning. There's I think there's 50 or some of them. And in the beginning, all we did was talk about that mental formula, because we know you get that down, the rest of this shit falls into place so easily.
But it's like anything else. It comes down to discipline and then following the plan and sticking to your plan.
Yes.
And when you plan out your day, you stick to your plan. It's that simple. It's not just your plan to training. It's your plan for what you're doing.
It's your plan to go to bed. It's your plan to do your meal prep. It's your plan to get to the gym. It's your plan to be successful in your relationships. I guess the biggest question is, do you guys have a plan? Because a man with a plan will find success. A man without a plan will do a lot of wandering around, finding himself in the same place where he started, not understanding why he's back in that same place.
Yeah. And like I said, you prioritize your plans. There's some things that are long distance plans. There are some things that are shorter plans. There's weekly plans. There's daily plans. I tend to have long plans and then daily plans. I don't have a lot of, the weekly stuff I follow just because that's my rhythm. But like, I look at days, okay, what are we doing today? And plan out my day. So but make your plan, stick to your plan. Have the discipline to stick to your plan.
And if you're struggling with your plan, maybe your plan is too complex for where you are at this point of your journey. Make it simple. Small promises to yourself. Once you learn to own and honor the promises to yourself, that's the beginning of this whole thing. And so if you're having difficulty, maybe you're asking too much of yourself for the current place you're in. Talk about that a little bit, Nick.
Yeah, sometimes there's, at the end of the day, we're human beings. And
yes, we are.
We have to sleep. There's things we have to do. And yes, we want to get a lot of things done, but you have to have achievable goals during the day. And sometimes, even though you want to get all these things done, the reality of the situation is you can get this much done. You can get like 15 things done when the reality is where you're trying to get 25. Trim back the unnecessary things and get your 15 done and get them done well, not just get 25 done half-assed.
So good.
Focus on what you can do really, really well and get those done to near perfection. And the other stuff, replan for a different day. Cut out the stuff that's not as important.
And let me kind of bridge off that a little, brother. In the beginning, one of the biggest mistakes that I made, and I repeated this thing so often because I didn't know I was doing it. It was that I was planning too much. And when I would get behind on my plan, I would say, fuck it. And I would just divert from the plan, which is the worst thing you can do. So if your plan is so daunting that you're getting behind and you're not doing like I was, or like Nick said, you're just doing everything half-assed, you got to look at your plan, because your plan needs to be something that's executable. That's it should give you and Nick, I want you to explain how you feel about this. Your plan should give you an amazing feeling once you execute it. Your brain once you complete a task, your brain actually feels that check done, and it sends dopamine, which is the do it again drug, which says find another task, let's do something else. So just remember, it just starts small.
Start small, simple. Start easy, and follow the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Yes. Follow it. You just keep things simple. Things as you accomplish simple tasks, a lot of complex things get accomplished without you even realizing it. And that's the goal. Is to take things that are simple.
That's such a good point. If you think about this, if you start executing your plan, you'll be really surprised that maybe it's the third item on your list, and you do that regularly, that's going to solve a bunch of problems because you're doing that little thing very regularly. So just remember, it's sometimes the plan and the discipline, it's much greater than it appears to be on a daily basis.
So
give us an example on that one, brother.
Oh, geez. There's things that'll distract you from everything that you're doing everywhere at all times. I mean, it's right there in your hand, in your cell phone. You know, so I mean, you can. I don't know how many times it takes a lot to break the mold of constantly like needing that thing where you're picking up your phone and you're going down this rabbit hole. You're picking up your phone, going down this rabbit hole, and it takes you away and distracts you from your actual goals that you want to accomplish. And so, find the discipline to put that down and stick to your plan and finish the day. And at the end of that day, you're going to achieve way more than you thought you would. And then having reasonable expectations as well make a massive difference. They really do.
You know, and brother, that's so the phone might be the most distracting thing. And I actually developed I'm all about systems and rhythms and patterns. And so my phone, our phones are always with us. They're always close by. So my method is very simple. Like right now, my phone is within reaching distance, but is turned upside down. I see the back of it because a notification comes. I can't see it right now. I'm completely focused and completely present in what I'm doing here with you guys and with Nick. And if that phone was looking at me every time in a notification up, I would be distracted. Now, it's that notification. It'll be there and nothing's going to pop up on that phone that's going to make me stop what I'm doing right now. So why do I need to know about it right now? So my system, maybe it'll work for you, is when I need to be away from my phone, I turn it face down. That's also what I do when I go to bed. I turn it face down. When I'm using it, it's face up. Yeah, my ringer's always off. I can't have the ringer. It's silent. I have it vibrate. So when it's vibrating, I can hear that too. But 100%. So that's a little trick that worked great for me. But eliminating or managing these distractions will be huge when it comes to your discipline and carrying out your plan.
And both of us make money off of our phones. So it's an important tool for us, but we have to realize it's a tool for us. We try to use it as entertainment as little as possible. Use it as a tool to get things accomplished. My kids pulled me out of that. It was my kids that broke that habit for me because they're like, Dad, you're always in your phone. I'm like, yeah, but I'm working. And then I realize I'm looking at pages and I'm going down a rabbit hole. I'm like, this isn't work. I need to get back to the work and then put the phone down. And I get through the work, put the phone down and like focus more attention on the kids and what's going on in that day. And thanks, guys. You guys actually, you can still learn things from even your kids. So, you know, and it's just one of those things. And once I realized it and pulled it and figured that out, it made a big difference. So your phone's a tool. Use it as a tool only, not as a source of entertainment. Interaction with people is your entertainment. Physical interaction with people.
Here's the question with the phone. You sit it on the head, brother. It's a tool. The question is, are you using the tool or is the tool
using you?
Oh, mercy. Well, that being said, I think we gotta wrap this baby up, brother. What's our words of wisdom on following the plan with discipline?
Well, it's the biggest thing. It's going to, at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you successful. You can be motivated all day long, but you're skipping rocks against the pond and eventually it's going to drop below the surface. You don't want it to drop below the surface. You want to have the discipline to stay on task. So the motivation gets you going, but the discipline is what makes you successful, and sticking to the plan is what makes you successful. Do those two things, you're going to be able to set a goal and accomplish whatever it is that you desire that you want to get done. It might take a while, but
whatever you choose. That's it. And that being said, I would say, you know, my piece of the words of wisdom for the day is start small. Just if you don't have a plan, if you feel like you have no discipline right now, God knows we've all been there. Literally think of 2 things that you're going to do tomorrow, right? Plan it today. Look at it before you go to bed. So when you wake up, you know what you're going to do. Just 2 things. And you'll realize you do these 2 simple things. You're like, it was pretty easy. I think I'm going to do another one. But if you add another one every day, holy shit, just by the end of the week, you have 7 items that you're doing that you weren't doing the week before. It might even be too much, you know? I mean, so, and the best part about this is when you do it and your brain gives you that dopamine, it says, go find another task to do because this feels good. Now executing your discipline brings you joy. Correct. Once you've reached this point, it doesn't feel like you're doing shit you don't want to do anymore once in a while. Yeah. But it's because you slept poorly, because something happened out of your control, blah, blah, blah. So that being said, guys, there you have it. Another week.
Another good
coming
one.
At you, baby. That's it. So that being said, we're going to be here again next week. And the week after that, and the week after that, whether you guys like it or not. And we're hoping that you're enjoying this and getting some good value from this, because, I mean, we even have fun and get value just having these great conversations with each other every week.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, a lot of these things make me better.
That's it.
That's all that matters in the end, is we make each other better.
That's it. And if you want to take the leap into doing some training and nutrition with us, hit the link below. And you can check it out. You even get a week free to try it. So, that being said, everyone, we will see you next week, same time, same place.
Go out and execute.
Go get it, baby.
Have the discipline to get it done.
That's it.
That was a fun one.
God, we burned through 26 minutes so fast. Holy shit, brother. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was quick.